because he's actually playing really well on it.
They banned Chelsea's
especially the Poppy.
I'm sad, H2K, because that Poppy ult that won them the game at Elder was one of the sickest plays.
I'm just sad for the viewers because watching Chachi play Poppy is actually insane. So
it is.
You really want to see that. Sadly, not this game. Watching Vander play Braum, not exactly the same effect.
No, but he is definitely well schooled in that champion.
He's also undefeated on it, 6-0.
There you go. Fun, quick stat. Now, Schalke have focused on banning out junglers, the Talia, the Nocturne, no surprises there.
Oh, it's all the comfort picks.
Okay, so all the comfort picks. H2K clearly done their homework here.
This is actually what I thought Spice would do yesterday, but Spice picked red side, so they couldn't. Like, against Schalke, you get blue side, you ban away pure comfort, the Sejuani, the Poppy as two of the main ones, and then you pick between Braum and Alistar versus Vander. You can even first pick the Alistar if you're crazy. And then Schalke have to ban...
You're crazy.
And the Schalke just have to ban like normal... Oh, they banned the Draven.
That's okay, we still have Vayne.
That's what I call scouting right there. Aatrox is left open in this game. If you are going to lose, it could be against an Aatrox, but they go with Trundle. I don't think that's how you surprise them.
Schalke have played Aatrox this split. NukeDuck.
Akali's also open.
That's also a very fair point.
So, I mean, do you just grab both? Do you put the Aatrox top lane?
Yeah, I guess you could. Chachi could be on a carry too, so that's going to be Aatrox locked in. We have it, Deficio, and they might give the Akali over because Amazing locks in the Gragas.
Okay, so let's see if H2K wants to play Akali or not. I actually really felt like, for me to, in the pick and ban phase, in the first pick, to really be like, wow, okay, H2K, if they actually play this well, we're looking at something. I think an Aatrox first pick would have made a lot more sense in terms of explosiveness, potential snowball. The Trundle pick is very, very standard here.
Yeah, and the Aatrox really doesn't make it through the ban phase that much. There have been so many Aatrox bans, 67 in the split so far. We'll see if H2K knows what they're up against here. They do lock in the Tahm Kench for Promisq.
A bit more defensive again, so I'm not looking at the all-in comp.
Ooh.
The Akali pick.
Hey, you can get a Tahm Kench to save you from yourself.
I just want to see, because when Akali and Aatrox are left open, you expect the teams to try and trade them with each other, and that's what's happening. Selfie grabbing that Akali in the mid lane. Remember, the Aatrox is a flex pick, can go to multiple different lanes. One thing I saw, because I was watching Faker stream, and he actually played Akali versus an Aatrox, and it was really tough for him to do anything, because Aatrox, with his chain, can actually, even if you're in your stealth, it actually still pulls you to the center. And most of his abilities are going to be AoE, that he's just smacking down on you. So even if you're sitting in stealth, it doesn't actually matter that much because you're still taking damage from him. So I just want to see if it's going to be that specific matchup.
All right, we'll see if that's the case. Now we enter ban phase 2. So far, it's just going to be a Gnar removed from Schalke, and it's matched by the LeBlanc. So clearly H2K are unconvinced that this Aatrox could be mid lane.
H2K are also simply saying in this last game here that I think they've made it very clear that there is no... It's no fun game mode. They're actually gonna try and draft what they consider the absolute strongest thing they can go for in this meta, which is what we're seeing with Trundle, Tahm Kench, these kind of things. And again, as I highlighted before, like normally between a bottom team versus a top team, if you wanna go for the surprise, you're drafting like a little bit like Rocket yesterday. Leona support comes in, you know, a bunch of hard engage with some snowball champs, and you try and go all in the early game. But that's not what they're doing in this game.
But they did this yesterday too. That's what's even more surprising.
Well, they only did the
Vayne Lulu.
It was only Vayne. Everything else was so standard.
That's true. They got given a Nocturne and they took it. But yeah, Sheriff a little unfortunate. He kind of went Vayne spotting on that one. But I don't know if I can totally blame him for it.
It was tough. He obviously got shut down a little bit in the early game. So the Varus pick, super solid, can be paired up with almost any support right now in the game, and you actually can have a pretty strong lane phase.
Some good engage though with the Rakan. And now let's see what H2K take for the bot lane. Spin that wheel.
Is he gonna Vayne again?
He's gonna take Ashe, isn't he?
You can dodge out of the Rakan engage. Would be.
He's got a Tahm Kench. He doesn't need to take a safe carry. Come on. Yeah, give me the Jinx. No, Sheriff. Stop playing with my heart.
I mean, you're looking at a really strong lane to play against with the Varus and Rakan. So Ezreal, for added safety, makes sense. But you're not winning this lane if you're H2K. Like, this to me is just H2K really opting into a much slower early game than they could have drafted for, and saying, you know what, we need to make sure we don't fall behind very quickly, because it's an Aatrox and Varus on the other side.
So if they're playing to not fall behind early, what are they playing towards? Is this looking like a late game team, especially if we get that lock-in up top for Smittyj?
I mean, there's definitely a lot of late game in it. Say, let's see what he point picks.
Some dueling.
All right, now they have a lane they can try and play around Snowball. Not that it does super well early, but they have a lane at least they can focus on. Let's see what the top lane choice is for Schalke then, because they have the Gragas.
It's going to be Aatrox.
It's going to be Aatrox top or Ryze top lane.
Yeah, I guess that's true. There's always the possibility. We gotta wait till it shuffles around, but Smittyj is longing for a worthy opponent.
I also want to bring up another flex choice you can actually do. You can do Varus mid lane, put the Ryze bot, and then play Aatrox top.
You could. Somehow I don't think that's happening.
I don't think so either. We've had a bunch of mid laners, during our broadcast talk about how, things like Ryze work pretty decently against the Akali because it's fairly easy for you to actually utilize your ulti and your TP to move around the map and just impact other lanes, but they just swapped. It's Aatrox mid lane right now.
Okay.
My Faker stream research might be paying off.
Who'd have thunk it, man, for sure. But you've now got the mismatch comparatively with the Ryze versus Fiora, so Smittyj could be in for an interesting lane.
Yeah, that's why I instantly said with the Ryze that this could go top lane. Like, they're not drafting a melee champ against Fiora, where often in the late game, Fiora just kind of takes over those lanes, and she's so hard to shut down, but they're trying with a ranged champ in Ryze to see if they can bully out Fiora a little better. And because Ryze spams spells so often, it's really tricky to know exactly when you want to actually riposte.
Yeah, you can't really, you can only riposte the one. So what are you going to be able to do? So Vizicsacsi might have Smittyj's number in this one, but
Schalke are showing here in the last game, because this game is so important for them. Like, they're showing a Ryze top lane from Vizicsacsi, a guy who's mainly been playing tanks and Rumble during the split. And again, it really highlights for Schalke, because they have to win this game to get themselves in a good position for that second place.
And H2K have to win this game to get H216. Will they end their 2018 season on a high note? We are about to find out. A lot of Vizicsacsi fans in the audience, that's for darn sure. We'll see what he's able to do on this Ryze up top. And the rest of Schalke still looking for that fight up at the top.
Yeah, it's really Schalke with the aggressive draft. It's Schalke with so much playmaking on their side, where H2K is a lot more scaling. You actually have scaling in every lane on the side of H2K. It's not always the standard tank top scaling, but like the Fiora first couple of levels, like, again, is not great, but her late game obviously is insane as a split pusher. But can you get there if you're H2K? You are the weakest early game team in the league.
And they're playing very defensive here with the drafting, outside of maybe Smittyj. Let's see if they're able to make anything else happen. But yeah, it's Schalke definitely taking more of these risks. And I got a few stats in my ears while you were talking to Deficio about Vizicsacsi and his Ryze. He has played about half a dozen games on this champion before, and the last time he did it, you'd never guess.
Last time Ryze top lane was a thing for Chachi? Ooh, back in the Unicorn stage.
It was. Can you narrow it down?
I'm going to say was it 2015 or 14? We had a lot of Ryze top.
You're close.
It's one of those years.
Is it?
Was it 16?
Oh, you got it. 2016.
I was so far away.
I believe it was, spring. But okay, we get to keep talking about it because we got to pause.
Okay.
Or not. We can talk about something else.
Tension building.
It's definitely always going to throw off your momentum or your tempo a little bit when the game starts off and you have a pause. It just kind of prolongs that pre-game jitters that can kind of
It's actually the worst feeling as a pro player. It's just like the first minute or two of the game. That's where you're still feeling a little bit weird. But then you just get so focused, it's gone. For at least most players, at least. I just want to see. So, we highlighted already. Vizicsacsi on Ryze. It's back. You said it, Pyra. 2016
It's definitely been a while for Vizicsacsi.
Can't say I remember it.
What's so surprising is that they make this change up now. I mean, it is the last game of the split. Even if you lose this one, you're still in a pretty good playoff position. But to take a risk at this point when it's still very important to try and lock up that top 3 spot. Because remember, that's what Schalke need to do.
Is it a risk or is it just smart drafting?
It's different than what they're doing.
That's true.
I feel like anything that is not in the comfort zone, the current comfort zone, is still kind of risky.
It feels like on the side of H2K, they said, we can draft Fiora because Chachi's just going to be on a tank. You know, hey, this is going to be fine for us. But I think him with the Ryze pick, I'm not sure how much it surprised him or not, but it makes a lot of sense for what Schalke is doing. Also putting that Aatrox mid against the Akali. And we're going to get some of the fights between these two guys in the mid lane, and we can then kind of look at again why the Aatrox specifically makes sense here. Main thing is just notice how much of this damage is AoE based. So you don't need to see the champ you're hitting. You just need to know roughly where she is.
Yeah, it's all about trying to get the outplay on Selfie's side, but it's tough. You're going up against NukeDuck, man. There's a reason we're talking about the year of the Duck. He's not the only standout player on the team, though, as the level 2 gank comes through. Upset's forced to flash very quickly here.
Yeah, and that's what we like to see here from H2K. NukeDuck level 2 himself.
Flash forward, the autos, the ignite, Selfie! Looks like he's going to make it out just barely.
It's not the year of math right now. NukeDuck not having enough damage. Chachi, level 1, he does not want to take too many trades right there, clearly. Obviously, Smittyj will take a bit of damage on the way out. Amazing is topside.
There's actually never lane here.
Oh, can he get it on Upset? Oh, if he actually managed to get that second one on Upset, he could have looked to try and gobble him up soon. With Ignite, that would have been a kill. H2K, aggressive start bot lane. Smittyj on topside. Good early trades against Vizicsacsi.
This might be just what they need. Although Selfie, he is kind of cowed under turret here just now, so this is the one that's going the way of Schalke. But meanwhile, back up to the top, Smittyj does get a few more ticks of damage inside the minions. The Rune Prison, Smitty running for his life here. He's going to dash, flash, and just barely make it out. The close calls continue.
Once again, math superior on the side of H2K, knowing they will not die in these situations. They lost flash top lane, but there was a trade. NukeDuck used it mid. We have to remember that Selfie kept his. Can Caedrel go towards mid lane and try and counter gank? Or will he look top lane? Amazing is up there too.
Caedrel's coming up.
Okay.
Amazing's starting to back away. If he sees this, he does stop.
He does.
Waits in the brush.
He's waiting.
Caedrel doesn't know. He's going to face check it. Here we go. The belly bop into the barrel. Caedrel takes a bite out of Amazing, and that will be the end of it.
But Amazing knowing there's a chance that the early gank topside would happen. Now Chachi's lacking that flash, and you do not want to fall behind this lane here against Fiora. That's the kind of thing. She is still one of the absolute strongest split pushers.
You got a lane gank coming through, though. Amazing is waiting in the wings.
We do see on the side of Smittyj, we have some biscuits coming in. Obviously going to try and max out on sustain with Corruption Potion.
Saw him getting a ward earlier, too. The Kleptomancy definitely picking him up a few odds and ends here. Caedrel's coming through.
Probably got the tonic as well, just to extend the duration of the potions. And that is obviously what a lot of people are doing right now, just to maximize. Actually, never mind, that's from Klepto. He has, on his side, not picked towards biscuits and tonic. He's actually sitting with sorcery.
That sounds like a terrible combination.
I just looked straight at his item, I was like, oh, he has a biscuit right there. But it's obviously not from that, it's from the Kleptomancy. So I take everything back. Do not go into a Fiora game picking the rune choices I just mentioned, because then you will not be doing what Smittyj is doing.
Okay, the anti-Fiora guide by Deficio. Let's go ahead, though, and talk about where these teams are, though, especially because for Schalke, remember the stakes of this game. You need to win this if you want to make sure you're locked up in the top 3. You want to still be able to fight for that bye. It doesn't 100% put you there, but it is really, really close.
Yeah, because you want to avoid the situation where you lose now, G2 then wins the next game, and suddenly you don't even get any chance of actually securing top 2.
And this head-to-head is why they can't actually secure first, but they can give Fnatic the guaranteed first because they lose out on that tiebreaker scenario we talked about. Now back into the current game, Selfie kind of going all in, but he doesn't realize Amazing's there, so he's going to have to ninja his way out of this one, but that Shroud is only so wide. Amazing, waiting, flashing, going forward. That's a lot of damage. Those shurikens not flying fast enough, and Selfie gets out!
Gets out, because NukeDuck could not follow up without flash on his side.
These are some really quick maths, dude, I'm telling you.
I know, that's smart, but Predator, Gragas, I'm so happy that's a thing. After good old Spirit managed to dominate on it, and now we just see it from every jungler, and it's just so good at actually getting early ganks off. You have CC, you can get in range very quickly. So early trades right here. Might get another one. Caedrel's around. NukeDuck is level 6 though.
There are a lot of jungle involved. There's a lot of jungle involvement going around in this mid lane, especially. So Caedrel a little bit chunked out by NukeDuck, forcing him back. And the barrel's going to come through. Selfie has not backed away, but they're looking for a collapse here. You can see Promisq coming up, but it's slow charge on that.
Yeah, but Amazing knows it's not worth it to try and go for the gank right there. Selfie did manage with the Cloud to actually stay around for long enough. Amazing might look towards a little ward in the enemy jungle or just a gank. He knows with control ward, he can actually go for it. Smittyj, no flash on his side.
Goes forward, he's going to be careful, hold on to that riposte, and he's going to get bopped, and in Rune Prison he goes into the minions once again. He's got nowhere to go, tries for that grand challenge, staying alive for just a couple seconds, but he's first blooded by Amazing.
He didn't hold on to it for so long, he didn't actually block anything, and then he just died. No flash, obviously. Amazing with the control ward, knew it was an easy gank, and now the Fiora is getting shut down by Ryze and Gragas.
Forced to buy that Hex Drinker, so Caedrel will come up and kind of wave clear duty, but Vizicsacsi still got some chip damage onto him, and Schalke no fear, finding a lot of success up in that top side.
Simple gank from Amazing, and you said it yourself, man. Can he block any CC? The answer is no.
Not if you don't use it.
Did not block anything.
Oh, there he did.
Yeah, he didn't really block anything.
No.
He just died.
Trying to mind
anyway.
it now. It doesn't matter too much. So Schalke have a pretty significant lead, but There is one key place where that's not happening, and that is down on the bottom side, because look at that CS difference between Sheriff and Upset.
Yeah, I mean, their level 2 gank that forced the flash from Upset earlier really made it hard for him to play this laning phase, and Sheriff and Promisq have been doing a great job just hard winning this lane. They actually need that because they're really losing in solo lanes. Their Aatrox mid is working super well at the moment. Amazing has pulled off a couple of ganks on the Predator Gragas already. First of all, securing that kill top lane for Vizicsacsi, and he gets the perfect back. You know, tier is already completed. He can get a cloth armor against the Fiora as well.
Yeah, this is what the Ryze players dream of. Now, Promisq steps forward to try and get a little bit of extra chunk damage on. So H2K, it seems like they really are going to need to play towards this bottom lane to try and bring the tempo back in their favor. So Selfie, I wondered if he was going to go all roaming, but he's actually just getting some vision out.
Oh, another trade.
Hold on a second. Smittyj dashing, looking for Chachi, closes that gap, but oh, that Vital on the wrong side.
I mean, he felt confident for a while, this Smittyj, because he still had Corruption Potion.
He doesn't have Flash, and Amazing is making a return to the scene of the crime. This could be disaster for Smittyj.
Predator is available for the Gragas. Trundle is here, though. Once again, he knows he's not spotted until now.
Okay, it's a 1v1 on both sides at the moment, and who's catching who? Maybe it's going to be Amazing going down here, and there's going to be the riposte flashing forward, trying to get to that brush, and it's going to be Amazing going down. Smitty staying alive.
Yeah, that was well played here by Smittyj. Vizicsacsi did not want to commit his flash to try and secure the kill, probably because Akali was already moving from the bottom lane. He didn't want to have a potential 1-for-2 trade. And Amazing was actually looking for the gank, and then Caedrel shows up, and Smittyj blocked the ulti perfectly right there.
Caedrel has actually had a pretty good response time to trying to be where Amazing is, and finally that bears some fruit. He gets a little bit extra back.
Yeah, he's trying to help two losing solo laners, and he's actually managed to get something from it now.
Yeah, this is one of those games where you honor your jungler.
For now, you do. The moment you lose in the late game, you flame him. So, Amazing comes in. He thinks it's all set up with the control ward, but Caedrel shows up at just the same time. Flash is available for Chachi, but he doesn't follow down quickly enough here to actually stay in. And he doesn't want to flash, it seems like, for the kill on Smittyj. I think just because Akali was already moving. And again, a 1-for-2 trade, is it really necessary? Do you want to give Akali that kill? Probably not. So in the end, it's just Amazing dying. Promisq will not do a whole lot with that one.
Yeah, I think you're supposed to cook your seafood before you eat it. But
that really depends on what seafood you eat.
It's a good point. It's a good point. I don't think Skull
Crab was not the most
is very good. And Schalke, 3-man squad coming back down to the bottom, and it looks like they've got their eyes set on the dragon possibly, but not in a rush to take it.
Well, Amazing gets the Rift Scuttler. I just want to see now if this bot lane from H2K can actually secure a kill and a bot lane turret.
Ooh, Selfie, that was bold.
So notice how Selfie does get out of the chain range almost instantly, but if he didn't, he would have been pulled back, even though he was invisible.
So if he didn't execute well, he may have died.
Maybe not fully died, but NukeDuck could have gotten a bit more damage potentially onto him. We might see it again later. So far, NukeDuck is not really scared of anything Selfie can do against him. And he's happy taking trades in melee range. It's kind of what Aatrox loves. Caedrel actually on top side.
He gets a solo.
With his two losing solo laners, just managed to get Rift Herald.
This is actually really huge right now. If they're able to put 2-3 in a lane and just kind of drop Shelly on top of it, this is going to be possibly first tower.
Yeah, this is actually like, it's actually insane how much value Caedrel's getting out of this, and a bit sloppy from Schalke.
Oh boy, grand challenge. Chachi, he's got to hightail it out of there. Smittyj did not have flash to follow him through.
And Chachi knows right now that the potential all-in is actually pretty scary. Smittyj has enough damage and defensive stats to stay alive. Because obviously if Chachi doesn't have that much damage just yet, he's building stacking items on his side. Caedrel's still behind him. Caedrel should actually gank him right now.
Yeah, might just do. Chachi, he's still got flash. He might have to use it pretty soon. Caedrel actually just chasing off, and the Krugs decides now is the time to go in. Vizicsacsi not expecting this to come through, and he's going to have to run the wrong way. There's the Realm Warp trying to flash into it. Oh, the great escape! How about that, Vizicsacsi?
Oh, so he knew. If he stayed in there, he might not be able to fully get out, but by running away from Caedrel and then flashing back just when the ulti activates, he gets out. He can TP back.
I mean, they're gonna lose tower, but man, that was a stylish move. Let's look at that again in the picture-in-picture.
So he just knows, okay, I need to make sure I don't actually die in time or get interrupted, and then he just jumps back, flashes in, gets out. Nice little play, cost him his ulti and his flash, and still lost turret.
Yes, he did. But this has been a game of calculations, Deficio. All about the math of the chess master up top. Stays alive, but unfortunately loses his tower. So H2K actually in the gold lead.
Yeah, I really want to be super serious here. Like, before this game, we talked and we said, if H2K are doing well in the early game, there is a chance they can actually win this game. Like, their draft, scaling-wise, is strong. They have Fiora for Smittyj, who's not afraid of being an all-in split pusher that can make life a living hell for Vizicsacsi on the top side. And right now, with Caedrel getting that Rift Herald, with them getting now the top lane turret down very, very quickly, and the bot lane with Ezreal doing so well, like, I am seeing a lot of ways H2K can still win this game.
Absolutely, and we talked about the losing lanes early on. That's not negated by any means, but at this point, Smittyj has tower cold to work with. They've managed to kind of minimize some of these losses. It's only 1 kill apiece on the entire map right now as we enter 13 minutes into the game. And yeah, it is all about this bottom lane. That CS advantage continuing there for Sheriff, and even Promisq on a roam trying to interrupt the jungle camps from Amazing. Nicely done. It was a good attempt.
And also another thing we need to look at is because H2K are running this 1-3-1 split push comp with Akali and Fiora, because they early drafted a Tahm Kench, it's just even more powerful because you can always show up with more members faster than Schalke can do on their side. Caedrel gets a bit of trading here on NukeDuck.
Forces him to dash the pillar. That's a lot of damage.
Ulti's popped as well.
Here. That's the ulti, as you said. Here comes Chachi to help. Smittyj, though, he's smelling some blood right now. Selfie going forward. That's going to be...
It's happening, Pyra.
Selfie getting the kill on NukeDuck.
H2K just secured another big kill for one of these scaling assassins on their side. Selfie got in range with the gunblade, got onto NukeDuck, and they secured the kill. There's more farm being lost for Schalke. More time for Smittyj to just keep scaling up on his side. Chachi can't really kill him with the Hex String on Smittyj's side. Caedrel's playing extremely well on this top lane as well, towards the top lane, and things are looking pretty good for H2K at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like that right now H2K fans aren't the only ones that are feeling pretty happy about this. G2 eSports, remember, still have the chance to force the tiebreaker against Fnatic if H2K can close this one out. So the fight for first very much still alive.
Vander, upset, moving towards the mid lane. Might just kill a ward and Drake and then go back bot lane. The scaling is in for the Ezreal as well. It's been stacking for a long time. Upset is not fully completed his play the Run King. He's not in that great of a spot at the moment. NukeDuck, of course, while he did die, he's strong at the moment if he gets a long trade, but no one wants to trade with him.
That's the issue. Trying to keep him at arm's length. So it's going to be Chachi just kind of hold on in the top, push out some of those minions. Selfie, meanwhile, is in danger of getting double teamed. He sees NukeDuck. He doesn't see Amazing. He's got friends, but they may not be close enough. Still, though, he's getting those wards down. He's playing it safely enough.
I just think right now, if you're Schalke, you're really feeling the pressure.
Gotta be.
Because you are not supposed to lose this game. You're against the bottom team who's 1-16. You're fighting for that second place. Lock in your spot. Straight into a semi-final. They get a mid lane turret here, even out the goal a little bit, but as we highlighted before the game, H2K have nothing to lose. They can literally do whatever they want. If they were just running around dying left and right, we would just be laughing at it, being like, yeah, you know what, last game, who cares? But they're playing super serious. They're actually performing well, especially around the solo laners with the kills they've been able to pick up. And Schalke, they can't afford to lose this game.
They certainly cannot. Makes the playoff picture for them a lot hairier, that's for certain. And for H2K, as you mentioned, with nothing to lose, can be having a lot of fun right now, but they're still just taking this one stone cold serious. Selfie with the 1 kill. Let's see what he's able to do as he heads into the side lane now. You're going to start seeing people swap around the map.
Caedrel's level 11 on this jungle Trundle.
Oh, that's 2 levels up on Amazing.
He's been getting absolutely everything he wanted, been dominating in this early game, and that's a bit of damage on the mid lane turret. Fiora, if you notice the minimap, will perma push topside. Oh, NukeDuck!
Oh, wait, hold on a second. NukeDuck trying to find Caedrel. Promisq swallows him right on up, and that's going to be the resurrect coming in for him. Just enough to get out of harm's way. Sheriff trying to find an angle. Vander body blocking.
Oh, Amazing is around mid lane right now, but
look at the bottom lane. He's got Akali free pushing.
Yeah, but this is the 1-3-1 from H2K that's so insane with the Tahm Kench in mid, because whenever you gank someone in a side lane, Tahm Kench shows up with another player. So it's really difficult for Schalke to stop this split push from happening unless they can win 1v1 themselves. But Ryze is not going to be able to do a whole lot against Smittyj right now. On the bottom side with NukeDuck, Selfie just doesn't trade with him. He literally just kills the wave and walks away from the Aatrox. See what happens around mid lane. Again, I'm just constantly looking at if Sheriff can push the lane, it sets up Promisq to leave. And if you look at the minimap, every time Smittyj is top lane, he's pushing past the dead tier 1 turret. He's all the way down to the tier 2. It's very hard for Chachi to actually leave without losing something.
Yeah, it's going to set him back just a little bit. So Smittyj already starting to become a little bit of a terror in this side lane. Throws down the ward. Chachi going to match with the control. But the mid lane just kind of seems to ebb and flow right now. You have a little bit of relief for Schalke as the Blade of the Rune King has been finished by upset.
I just want to see if the Ryze and the Aatrox can start doing something in the side lanes on the side of Schalke. They can't really go too aggressive, as I highlighted before, with the Tahm Kench, and that really annoys them. They actually want to just get to a point where they can get a big 5-on-5 team fight instead. But that might not happen for a couple of minutes. Caedrel's on bottom side. Want to see if they can secure this bot lane turret. NukeDuck has not used his flash yet.
Okay, he's not going to need to just yet. He does get a little bit of damage and interrupts onto Caedrel, and Selfie, who goes all in on this one, throwing those shurikens out. He smells that kill, and he is content to dive under tier 2 for as he dashes forward.
And he got the flash right there. NukeDuck tried to flash the ulti in the end, but the damage connected. That's another kill for H2K. They already secured one turret. They're going to get another one bot lane. Things are falling apart for Schalke.
This is not looking good for Schalke 04, trying to find a little extra damage back. It's only Vizicsacsi pushing on this one. Even the True Shot Barrage is coming through from Sheriff to help the effort pushing on the bottom. H2K have a significant goal lead here, and we're not even 20 minutes into this game, Deficio.
Get everyone in here. It's actually happening right now. H2K have been playing this game very well. A lot of credit, as we highlighted earlier, to Caedrel and his early game. And now Selfie's picking up kills. We've already seen Smittyj control his side. And Sheriff and Promisq, as long as they keep mid lane control, they make it so hard for Schalke to do anything on the map.
Oh man, we got to take a look at that.
This is snowballing out of control, dude.
It's the snowball that isn't as many kills as you might think, but when they get them, holy moly, watch Selfie.
After he connects the E, he can actually follow up, get in range, and NukeDuck is waiting with the flash to see if he can avoid the last bit of damage coming in right here. Oh, damage still connects.
Just a second too late. Quack, quack.
Sad quack, quack. More like quack, quack.
Yeah, I'm not very fluent in Duck, unfortunately.
You gotta learn the language.
It's a difficult one. I was trying Danish, but I just gave up on you.
It's effectively the same.
Oh, is that the difference? Okay.
Quack, quack. We say that in Denmark, too.
Today I learned.
Oh, then.
It's okay, he's dashing the wall. For Schalke, they really do want to find these fights, but I'm impressed with how slippery H2K have actually been. Just pushing around this map, executing well on the 1-3-1. It's a very different team from who first started this split.
It's just been such a strange split for H2K. Because a lot of the players are the same ones who made playoffs last split, who almost beat Vitality in that quarterfinal, but as they highlighted themselves, if we've all seen it, like the meta shift that happened around the bottom lane, like that really hurt them so much. And felt like after they lost so many games in the start, it felt like the team just kind of realized we can't, like this doesn't work. And they had a bunch of roster changes. Some of them sadly was not, you know, due to them actually wanting to make changes. There were some unfortunate situations as well, or you know, people getting sick or
right.
so on. But in the end, we sit here on the last day, and they actually have the chance to try and ruin Schalke's, you know, second place.
They can mess with the playoff standings, absolutely. So H2K can certainly have the last laugh in 2018. Now, taking a look at this game, this is actually the biggest lead that H2K have managed to build up in 20 minutes in this entire split. And it's looking good right now.
It's looking great, dude. They got Akali, they got Fiora. They're doing really well at the moment. The Tahm Kench to back them up. Man, this 1-3-1 setup is so strong. As long as they get down all these outer turrets and then can actually get a kill before Baron, it's great.
Well, they almost got the kill. NukeDuck trying to get out of there.
Oh, Silver going deep!
The interrupt! That's the shutdown for NukeDuck, and the rest of H2K scurry away.
All right, he saw the kill. He went all in, but Schalke, they were around.
Whew, a little bit too bold, perhaps.
A little bit. Let's see if there's anything Schalke can get in return. I don't think so, because they pushed really far back on the map, but
it does get them a little bit of time.
They're defending. Will they look towards Baron? Like,
that would be very bold.
Smittyj will be able to run in and join, and yeah, it will be too risky, but
they can at least get some vision back for themselves. This does not fully reset the game, not by a long shot, but it certainly interrupts the momentum. And here it was again, NukeDuck. Well, who's catching who? Well,
the first play is great, but now doing the passive, You gotta just get out. Just get out. Like, the enemy team is here. And it's not like on the bottom side that you're actually getting something. You can see how the Fiora was not close to an inhib turret. No problem. Selfie. Saw the kill. Went for it. Backfired. Gave it a little bit of time, as you said, to Schalke.
I just got the Zhonya's now.
Yeah. S04 still in the lead. Still in control. Schalke needs to just remain calm. Man, this is gonna be like, guys.
It's gonna be a long ride out to get back into this one.
Oh, man. Like, I can see it happening. Like, H2K either continue just winning in split push, or they get that one crucial fight that gives them a Baron, and that's when everything is on fire if you're a Schalke fan. Like, the moment you actually either lose an inhib, or you lose the Baron. Because right now, you're scared, but you're still kind of feeling, nah, don't worry, HK has been in this position before, they've lost a bunch of games from here and on, you know, they made some wrong calls around the late game situations, but you're still kind of panicking a little bit.
Yeah, for Schalke, I feel like this is... It's a big test for these guys, because one of the big critiques from Schalke way back when we weren't seeing a lot of results out of this team, and there were still these high expectations, you know, big organization in the Bundesliga, having a lot of big names on the roster as well, was that they had good individual plays. They didn't necessarily know what to do when these bad situations would arise. So let's see if they've got it in them to affect the comeback here as Caedrel runs smack dab into Amazing. The barrel flashed. Traded their ultimate for Summoner Spell. So can Schalke come back into this game? That's the question.
And can H2K actually get that last little advantage that really opens up either the base or for the Baron itself? Like, it's all great that you set up the early plays and you secure the first outer turret and you get the goal lead, but you still need one of the big things, either the inhib.
Fight. Here we go, and it's the knock-up onto the Trundle. Double charm onto Selfie and Sheriff. Blast Cone.
He's still alive!
It's still alive in this one. Upset's forced to flash away. Selfie trying for the executions onto Chachi. NukeDuck isolated from the team. They're trying to collapse as a back, but losing too much health here. NukeDuck, he's limping away. How does nobody die in that fight?
Oh, they just survived, Pyra.
Bot lane. Smittyj wasn't even there.
No, he's pushing. He's still so far away from that turret when the fight starts that he can actually get something instantly, and I think Schalke can get back in time, but Smittyj just keeps getting more time in that side lane to just farm. Chachi TP's on cooldown, Upset's TP as well on cooldown, so they have no globals right now to properly stop the 1-3-1, and H2K survived the 4 versus 5 team fight. Almost even got a kill.
Very, very close there. Schalke have to be frustrated. They couldn't find the fight. They couldn't find the kills. And we're almost 25 minutes into this game with only 5 kills because it's just been so calculated.
All right, Pyra.
So close. So many escapes this game.
All right. If Schalke lose this game, as we highlighted earlier, if G2 wins at the end of the day,
they can force that big old tiebreaker for first place.
Exactly. Or they can try and grab that second place for themselves.
That's very true.
And if Schalke win this game, there's a lot of different possibilities, but obviously they are suddenly in the running for that second place.
And they've come back before. You just saw it in the drop down up above that this is a team that knows how to come back from deficits. At least they've been able to do it. Pretty much split. But let's see if they can make this one another upset. Because it's stopped up by the pillar. They decide to turn their attention, just pushing the wave here. But look at what Schalke have done. They've muscled their way towards the Baron pit. They now have control here, but they got to be careful not to get pushed in too deep. There's an Akali up top. There's a Fiora down bot. If there's a time to force the fight, this might be it here. You can see Schalke 04 trying to defend as much as possible, but they are losing pressure on 2 of the 3 lanes in this game. Alrighty then. So Vizicsacsi, he's able to get the clear away. Now on this Ryze at the very least, he's got a lot of wave clears, despite the fact that the early game is a little bit rough for him.
Sorry, Pyra, I did not listen the last 30 seconds because I'm getting flamed by my stats team and my producers.
When you give wrong stats, that's what you get.
Apparently I keep getting it messed up and wrong with all the tiebreakers.
They get top 3 if they get the win. That's what happens.
Anyway, someone gets something no matter what happens. Let's watch League of Legends. H2K the upset, I am smelling it.
Great analysis. Oh, Chachi, can he do it too? Oh, yeah, he can.
Because you know what, Pyra? Instead of me talking about tiebreakers, after this game, Gragas will actually give you the latest updates on the standings. And for G2 to stay in contention for that first place, Fnatic later have to lose against Unicorns, but they can still try and go for second place.
Yeah, it's definitely not as clear-cut and dry. There's a lot that has to actually happen. But nonetheless, this is a very important game for Schalke to actually get the victory in this one. and they are trying their hardest to force out anything from H2K to try and get them to move away from this 1-3-1, but they just keep getting squeezed. H2K just keep going back to these side lanes.
Wait a minute. Schalke get to kill some Baron wards. If they do start the Baron, that's one way to stop a 1-3-1, because then they have to group and fight you.
But there's global. Smittyj's got TP. Promisq has Abyssal Voyage.
And let's just highlight, it's not like Schalke's team fight necessarily is just going to run over H2K. Like, if it's a messy, scrappy fight with people kind of split up left and right,
like we saw earlier.
Yeah, Fiora and Akali can really, really shine on their sides. Like, if Schalke is fully grouped with a great Varus ult, yeah, they have the advantage. But the moment it becomes a little bit messed up and then one guy's to the right, one guy's to the left, that's when everything can suddenly get really bad for Schalke, where one guy gets picked off almost instantly by one of these assassins, and then you're in trouble.
Not only that, one thing we haven't really talked about in the fights is that H2K have actually picked up a pretty unique advantage in that if they get into these extended engages and they are able to back off, get out of combat, they have 2 Ocean Drakes. They can get regen going. They can come back into it.
It's true. Wish it was Cloud Drakes.
I know that's your favorite.
You know, in a 1-3-1, actually, Cloud Drake is absolutely
I mean, it's fantastic. You get to go fast.
I guess also in this case Infernal when you have things like Fiora and Akali.
All the dragons are good. Why do we have to pick favorites?
Well, Mountain kind of suck a little bit.
Oh, not if you're going for objectives.
It's true.
See? Isn't that what split push is about?
I guess. Normally you don't need it, but it's fair.
You don't need it, but it's nice to have.
All right. So it's been a couple of minutes of no turrets dying. And Schalke managed to slow down the game a little bit.
Angel's going really aggro here. Here comes Sheriff as well. Amazing. Oh, he gets stopped up by the pillar, has to dash the wall. NukeDuck and Selfie fighting over Krug camps.
Oh, he did manage to kill the last caster minion there, Sheriff, so well played, sniping the last one. Make it suddenly an uneven wave. That's called wave management, Pyra. Introduced by WE when they were called World Elite back in early days.
You are pulling out some serious history now.
Wei Xiao, my good friend Clement Chu made an article on it back in the day.
Yeah. You know what else Wei Xiao was famous for?
Tell me.
Being backwards instead of forwards on Ezreal.
Hey.
He was the first one to do it. Everyone thought, this is an engage tool.
It's a damage ability.
Season 2 was a weird time. Like, the game was in a very different place back then.
It is very true. Now, Caedrel, can he find something? I really want HK just to focus on the turrets and not necessarily
you
chase
look at the top, you look at the bottom, they're doing it right now.
I mean, all right.
Sheriff's just dangling himself out as bait right now. Yeah, they can't catch him.
Traded flashes. So
he did have to flash.
Upset they get the flash there. Look at bot lane. Smittyj gets closer and closer to that turret. Vizicsacsi does not have an hourglass at the moment, so if an all-in happens outside in the lane, it's hard for him to actually stay alive unless he can ult out, which is obviously always a solution. Starting the Baron 2-man. Schalke right now are not in position to fight this.
Looking for Amazing, forced to flash that wall as the Grand Challenge is out, and you can see Smittyj says, not today, Amazing! Selfie getting the kill credit for that one, and it's going to force out the passive from NukeDuck. Meanwhile, Baron down to half the health, Blast going express, going over the wall.
Here we go!
The Realm Warp, it's just the distraction trying to push them off here. There is no smite for this fight, and it looks like it's going to go the way of H2K. The fight is back on, and now Schalke's running for their lives in this one. NukeDuck, he's certainly going to fall, and the rest of Schalke trying desperately to fight this out as H2K sensing the win in their eyes, looking for that 2 and 16 finish. Upset, going low, going down. Caedrel clubs him over the head, and it's only Vizicsacsi left to tell the tale, but not for long as the flash goes through. The Ignite gets the ace.
And now, if you are a Schalke fan, you have my permission to panic, because you just lost the Baron, you just lost every single player on your team, and H2K, they're only getting stronger in this game. That's now going to be a couple of turrets dropping. They're looking for some inhibs. Schalke are losing, and there's so little they can do against H2K right now.
Feels bad going into the playoffs to have a loss like this one. Let's see if they can do anything to desperately stave off defeat. Smittyj with the re-ace as Amazing comes up and goes down, and H2K on every lane of the base.
Let it be a lesson for everyone. Nobody denies the H216. It's happening right now, right in front of us. That's another inhib.
All right, at the end of the split, H2K finally showing their teeth in this one. Last desperate stand.
It's all inhibs gone, man.
All the inhibs, only the towers. Forget about those chains of corruption. They're just going all in for the kills. NukeDuck gonna get dashed on by Selfie. Dash back, follow through, perfect execution. And it's going to be the execution of the Nexus. And H2K are hard to kill today.
What a way to end this split. If you're H2K, it's been a horrible summer split for you. You're number 10, pretty much from week 1. But you face a team who's been on a massive run. A team who's instantly saying we can get that
We're
number 2
talking about
spot.
the year of the Duck, the year of upset. These guys are firing on all cylinders.
The summer split of Schalke.
H2K come in, and they say, so what? We can beat you.
So much pressure on Schalke before this game. 0 on H2K. And look at the draft. Madmen. First picking, or sorry, blind picking Fiora. Selfie takes the Akali in the mid lane.
Giving away the Aatrox.
Gave the Aatrox to NukeDuck. Said, you know what, we don't care about this early game. And Caedrel, that insane player, managed between 2 solo laners that are getting pushed in to get a Rift Herald.
Definitely honor your jungle this game.
Definitely honor your jungle. Got early kills for his team, got the counter gank in there that gave Smittyj the first kill against Amazing. Like, it was all there. H2-16. It happened.
It was utterly unbelievable. H2K completing the cycle, 2-16 on the split, and of course that's not the greatest scoreline to have, but you know, you win it at the end. You have a bad day as solo queue, Deficio, you get so many losses, you get demoted back down to bronze 1, but you get that win at the end of the day, it feels good.
When you're already out, you might as well play for the memes, and that's what happened. But also, I think you are still playing for pride, and for a lot of these players here, like, they still want to show what they can do on the big stage, because they didn't feel like they got a chance to show that in the summer split, so they took it very serious, and they played very well.
Certainly did. Now let's take a look at another one of those plays brought to you by Acer Predator.
Let's get it. This is the moment. You remember we chatted about how Schalke kind of split up, you know, suddenly Fiora, Akali will just like destroy you. They were not ready for this Baron to be started, and there was so little they could do. The moment Amazing has the flash, it's just done. I think at this point, if you're Schalke, your only chance was actually to take this Ryze ulti.
I feel like they had to take the party portal because
they would probably
H2K was just like,
die.
what are you going to do? You have no smite.
Probably would have all died. So I'm folding my sheet. I won't actually talk about the tiebreakers, but there's a lot less scenarios all of a sudden after these first 2 games. I'm eyeing some potential 4-way tiebreakers.
It's certainly possible. Now, things definitely get a little spicy after what's just happened with H2K, and, well, shaking up the standings, certainly the way of it.
What a classic situation.
Last day of the split, man.
You know, Shucks actually yesterday, during PGL, when we looked at the upcoming games, she said, this day, you know, the last day of the regular season, even if we think it's so clear-cut, yeah, Splice win, Schalke win here, Misfits win there, something always happens. A giant, weird result will always happen.
And in the game that matters, that's the other thing.
Exactly,
too.
in the game that really, really matters for one of the teams. And it just happened right now. Game 2 of the day, H2K. Honestly, destroyed.
Oh, they
Schalke.
played some damn good League of Legends.
Yeah.
We have to give them that credit. Now, we want to hear from you guys at home. The viewers, give us your votes for the player of the game, please, at lolesports. Twitter, of course, is the place where you can vote between Caedrel, Selfie, and Smittyj. We don't get to say that very often, but they all did their part.
They did. I mean, I'm looking at Caedrel specifically for what he did in the early game. Oh, yeah. And I do want to say Smittyj and Selfie did snowball it really well.
That's certainly the case. Now, Schalke, they're still fighting to secure a spot in the LCS Finals, and you guys can watch the action live in Madrid on the 8th and 9th of September. So what are you waiting for? Get your tickets over at eu.lolesports.com/Madrid. And if you can't make it there, you can also find a viewing party near you. And for more information on that, visit us at leagueoflegendsincinemas.com. So there's always some options, whether you want to watch it live, whether you want to watch it on TV or on the big silver screen. But, you know, that's still a ways away. So until then, to learn more about H2K's win, let's hear from Lo and their coach.
Thank you very much, Pyra, and thank you, Veteran, for joining me on stage. Now, you're ending your season with a win here, especially against Schalke. So explain to me, was it easier for your players to perform better knowing that you had nothing to lose anymore?
I mean, this was the result that we were looking to get versus Schalke last time we played, and we were very close, but we eliminated the Poppy this time. I want to really thank Caedrel for all the difference that he's made to the roster ever since he's come on, and I especially want to thank Shook for doing, 3 different roles for us in the last few weeks, and I wish we were able to give this type of performance more in the last weeks, but we had like roster difficulties due to unrelated accidents and illnesses and stuff like this. So I'm sorry to the fans that we weren't able to perform like you just saw on stage for the whole split. I'm glad we were able to give you like one last good game for the ride.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to go on this subject. Not gonna lie, but you had a very difficult time during summer split, and you mentioned the roster changes, players being sick. So talk me through what happened here in details.
2 of us ended up having back difficulties for completely unrelated reasons. There was a personal family crisis at one point. Like, there were just a series of unavoidable events that occurred in the last half of the split. In the initial half of the split, we weren't adapting well to meta changes. There were communication issues that Caedrel, bringing on Caedrel, significantly helped. Like, I don't want to put a damper on Shook or anything. He's like a ridiculously good jungler, and I really hope that a team picks him up. And he's evidently very talented at the game itself. We almost won versus Misfits with him on the AD carry while playing Ryze, so.
Well, as a coach, what do you tell your players in times like this to cheer them up and keep their head straight?
Well, to motivate them for games like this, it's a case of remembering that you are fighting for the next split and to show that you are good enough and to show that you are a player that is worthy of being looked at. So I hope that every player came into this for that, and I hope every team looks at this performance and sees that we have really good players on the roster and all of them are deserving of a chance.
Well, thank you very much for joining me today, and thank you for sharing your thoughts on the team. Congrats again for your last victory of the split.
Thank you very much.
And we're going to take a short break, but before that, we're going to send it to the other side of the stage for Draco's playoffs check-in.
Thank you very much, Laura. Of course, H2K win. A lot of people might not have expected it, but it does mean a lot of things when we look at our standings. We look at the potential tiebreaker scenarios coming in across the day. First up, hashtag fight for first is alive and well, folks. We could see a Fnatic G2 tiebreaker by the end of today. I'm kind of hoping for it, but a lot of other matches are going to change exactly what's going to happen. Now, as far as Schalke's fate goes, they are no longer securing that bye right off the bat. They can, in theory, secure with a tiebreaker match later today, but it's not 100% in their hands anymore. A bit of a difficult situation for them to be in for sure. May not even get a chance to play that match. However, now with H2K winning as well, we've opened up a 3-way tiebreaker scenario, a 4-way tiebreaker scenario. We could be playing so many games at the end of the day. I'm excited to see how it all shakes out. And as we take a look at the upcoming schedule, I'm going to be coming back to give you guys more updates later in the day. Vitality versus G2, right after Fnatic versus UL, or right before that match. I'll be here to tell you all of the stakes, all of the expectations for tiebreakers before we go into our final game of the day. Of course, if you want to follow along at home, keep up with the information. eu.lolesports.com/foldy sheet. Nice little sheet of paper. You fold it. It tells you all the potential tiebreaker scenarios, gives you all the information you need. You can see Trevor's very excited about his giant one. I recommend just printing it on a normal sheet of paper, but it's up to you. Do what you want to do. We're going to be back right after a quick break with our third game of the day. Roccat going toe-to-toe with Misfits. See who comes out on top.
Few more ticks of damage inside the minions. The Rune Prison. Smittyj running for his life here. He's going to dash, flash, and just barely make it out. The close calls continue. Interrupts onto Caedrel and Selfie, who goes all in on this one, throwing those shurikens out. He smells that kill, and he is content to dive under tier 2 for it as he dashes forward. Running for their lives in this one. NukeDuck, he's certainly going to fall. And the rest of Schalke trying desperately to fight this out as H2K sensing the win in their eyes, looking for that 2 and 16 finish. Upset, going low, back, follow through, perfect execution, and it's going to be the execution of the Nexus, and H2K are hard to kill today.